Welcome back to Ferris Sports Update. Time to turn our attention to women's basketball, joined by assistant coach Jasmyn Walker. Coach, first of all, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Obviously, you got to be pleased with the way your team is playing here at this stage of the year. 12-4 overall, and already 12 wins here in the early part of January.
Yeah, they're playing really hard. The girls are playing really well. I'm just really proud of them.
Obviously, just the chance to play after what happened last year and having a little more of an unusual schedule last year. What's it like to be back a little bit more to normal here this season?
I mean, just that. Feels like we're a little bit back to normal. The girls are playing hard. I feel like, when you're on the court, when it's game time, the lights are on, I don't think the girls know any different. So.
Obviously, this past weekend, a couple West Michigan rivals, Grand Valley State and Davenport, and I know you being from West Michigan, having some close connections, I'm sure makes these games a little bit more important.
Yeah, absolutely. It's playing against Grand Valley, a really good team. Same thing for Davenport, a team that they play really hard. I think this week, just prepping for the past week, prepping for these games was really important for the girls.
Obviously, as we go to the highlights, we'll start first with the Grand Valley State game, and great crowd on hand, and nice to see so many fans back in the building.
Absolutely. After last year, it was really hard, just playing with no fans or the cutouts. So playing with some fans was really nice again.
Obviously, Grand Valley, a team that was in the national rankings. This game, battle between two teams right at the top of the conference standings, and very competitive here from start to finish.
Oh, absolutely. The girls, our girls came out gunning, stuck to our game plan, did exactly what we needed them to do. And then, obviously, there's runs in basketball, but Grand Valley's a really tough team.
Obviously, I know you guys playing minus Chloe Idoni in this game, but you've had some younger kids really step up and continue to get better and better.
Yeah, Maya, number 44 for us, really stepped up. She's played a lot of big minutes. Same thing for Amaka. She's also played some tough minutes. Just really relying on those girls to step up and fill some shoes for us.
Obviously, this game a little bit back and forth here in the first half, and Grand Valley, a team that's got a lot of weapons and tough to defend.
Yeah, I mean, their size just makes them really hard to defend. As far as our game plan went, it was really just to, not let plays go unfinished, and I think our girls did a really good job of that. Obviously, stat-wise, they did out-rebound us, but as far as, just last-minute things that it came down to, it was just finishing a couple plays.
How tough is it to play here in the GLIAC, not only against a great opponent, but on the road in a tough environment?
Yeah, it's like you said against last year, you don't really realize just how much a crowd makes a difference, and I think the girls kind of got that in full effect again.
Obviously, here Grand Valley in the first half, able to grab the lead here as we go into halftime very shortly. What were some keys maybe to that halftime speech in terms of trying to come back and win the ball game?
I mean, as I mentioned earlier, just finishing plays, whether that's on offense or defense, making sure that that our girls were clear on what our game plan is and how we were to box out, and just the minor details I think was really important for us. Obviously,
got down by double digits a couple times, but continued to fight back and had a chance going down the stretch really to come back and maybe get that win.
Yeah, absolutely. Basketball is a game of runs, so.
Obviously, you opened the weekend, again, a tough loss right there against Grand Valley, but you knew you had a quick turnaround time against a Davenport team that's a little bit better than maybe its record would indicate.
Yeah, their record doesn't quite indicate that, but they're a really good team. Scout Nelson, Tony Grace, tough players, really good girls, and understanding that we're going to have to step up. We know we lost big by Grand Valley, but this is a good game for us to really dial back in and focus back on what we're trying to accomplish.
Obviously, Davenport got off to a solid start here in the first half. It was one of those games where you had to play catch up here for a little bit in the first half.
Yeah, they came out swinging and had a couple big buckets early, and it was kind of like, okay, let's get our feet back under us. Let's play hard. One thing to note that I forgot to mention is that in that Grand Valley game, Adrienne Anderson hit her 1,000th point. So that was really really special, as well as having that crowd there for us.
Obviously, in this game here, able to utilize a lot of different players, 11 different players, I think, in uniform that all played really significant minutes for you.
Yeah, it was just really important, a complete team effort on all fronts, especially when you're playing teams that, might not have the size and things like that. I mean, despite that, Davenport still put up a really good effort on us.
Obviously down 2 here at halftime after you cut their lead down, and then really a reversal of fortunes in the second half, really dominated the second half of play.
Yeah, halftime was all about just playing our game, sticking true to our principles, whether that's on offense or defense, and then just going going ahead and playing hard and making buckets.
How nice was it to really get some balanced contributions? We see Ellie Dykstra there with baskets. Zoe Anderson had 12 points. Maya led you with 15 points. Really nice to see some other players really step into the scoring column.
It was really nice. I know it was a big confidence boost for a lot of those girls, especially as, we get into the thick of conference where every night is a battle. So.
How nice is it to go on a short road trip like this, I guess, against a team here in West Michigan that you battle with each and every day?
Yeah, just quick, hour trip, not too bad. Really just, like I said, just making sure that, we handle our business on this business trip, whether it was a long one or a short one, and make our way back home.
72-55, the final score, get a big win. And now this week, just one game on the schedule, hard to believe, as you face Lake Superior State coming up on Thursday night at home.
Yeah, another tough team. They haven't played since before Christmas, so they haven't had a game in January yet. But the conference teams that they have played and the games they have played indicate that it should be a really good game for us.
It really is. We've seen here in this part of the conference season, you got to be ready to play each and every night.
Each and every night. We tell the girls, it's time to put your hard hats on, come to work, let's go.
How much progress maybe has been made since last season for a lot of these younger players that have really kind of grown up and developed here in the program?
Oh, night and day, completely night and day. We talked about early in the season, where we wanted to be at certain benchmarks, and we're looking at that and completely shattering where we were last year. And I think a lot of that has to do with, the freshmen last year who were, again, freshmen this year because of COVID, stepping up and, starting with a certain level of leadership for our underclassmen. Obviously,
here you mentioned Lake Superior hasn't played in the month of January. There's some other teams that have really battled through some issues here in January. How much maybe will that help your team as you've played all these games, and some of these teams are going to have to play catch up in terms of the number of games here in the month of February?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, as we talked, just different teams having to reschedule and things like that. But and obviously, everyone's going to have their bouts with COVID and things like that. We've been very fortunate that our girls haven't had too much of an experience with it. But at the same time, understanding that that is so important for us when we're coming to play games. We have to play them as they are, regardless of what games they played or not.
Back at home on Thursday night against Lake Superior. I know it's going to be nice to play back in front of the home fans again here before you play 3 games coming up on the road next week.
Yes, absolutely. It'll be good to get one in. Hoping to, really seal it in special before we hit the road.
What'll be some keys here over the next month of the season as your team tries to make a run here towards the postseason and really go as far as they can here in postseason play?
Just playing our game. That's one thing, with basketball is that sometimes you can get caught up in, the minor details, the minor stats, things like that. But it's so important that we're sticking true to our principles as far as, when we're doing things defensively and then offensively, making sure that we're getting the ball in the hands of the right people.
Well, Coach, congratulations on the great start, 12-4, and look forward to talking to you again soon.
Thank you.
That'll do it for Ferris Sports Update. Reminder, you can follow all the action online at ferrisstatebulldogs.com. Have a great week.